Alrighty, everybody, welcome back for our last race of the race week here with our Gnosis Division 2 group. And I'm already seeing a couple of our weathermen praising the heavens that there is going to be no rain apparently for the race. So dry qualifying it seems, dry race as well. So we, I guess, are looking forward to that. And I do see that we have Canny Dreamer, aka Marky Mark, our reliable our reliable viewer on the stream. So big hello to you, Mark. But yeah, round six, we're already halfway through the season. So amazing job to these guys, to all the races that we've had, all the drivers who show up every week and doing a phenomenal job on the track. But yep, we are here in Australia, the Albert Park circuit here in Melbourne, and it is going to be a 29 lap race. We do have our short qualifying session at the moment. And we already do have quite a few drivers on the track. We'll take a little bit of a look at the track details. So Australia, 5.278 kilometers. That is for us Americans, 3.280 miles. And we do have 14 corners on this track. If I'm not mistaken, it is 6 left-handers and 8 right-handers, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, 4 DRS zones. So we'll be seeing plenty of overtaking opportunities uh, on this track. And I'm just taking a look at the driver. So yeah, even Mini Tony sending me a screenshot. So it looks like 4% chance of rain, and that is most likely going to be none. But let's see who we have starting their lap. I believe that is going to be the Haas of Chernobyl, our first driver to be putting in his hot lap. So we'll take a look over here with Chernobyl. Albert circuit, quite a tricky track, I will say. It is personally one of my favorites, but there are a lot of places where you'll lose the traction and go straight into the wall. So I know a lot of these drivers, they came well prepared, and Chernobyl getting super close to that wall, I will say. But I will say we are 3 for 4 in the safety cars of the race week. So will Division 2 be the fourth to bring one out? As Chernobyl goes around, so regarding our standings, we do have Nate Oxy in the Mercedes leading the championship. Quite a comfortable gap, a total of 161 points. Right behind them, Olden Slow in the McLaren with 105 points. So, like I mentioned, we are halfway through the season, so you never know, anything can happen. And Olden Slow might have an advantage or try to take an advantage over here. But it is shaping up to be an interesting battle. And so we have Chernobyl putting in the first time at 120.0. I believe right behind him was Infant Eater. Hoven Rally at 117.5. So solid lap time from Hoven right there. And speaking of the Williams, I do want to mention that regarding the constructor standings, we do have the Mercedes with a total of 230 points. That is going to be only Nate Oxy today scoring points for the team. Unfortunately, Atron not able to participate today, but Nate Oxy holding the fort. And right behind the Mercedes is Hoven Rally and leader. Actually, no, that is not leader. It's Relativity, his teammate Relativity. Both drivers in the Williams with a total of 171 points. So definitely a chance for them to use this opportunity to really solidify quite a number of points and try closing that constructors gap. But speaking of Nate Oxy, I do believe. Oh, looks like he might be on a banker lap. Hasn't validated. And also want to give a bit of a shout out to one of our new drivers today. So F1 Vader, who just crosses the line and puts in a 121.5, puts himself up to P8 at the moment. So his first race with us, we are looking forward to see what he does. So it looks like Nate Oxy is going to be starting his lap time right now. So we'll stick with him just because he is leading the championship. So a little bit of a sector breakdown. We do have sector 1. Heavy braking zone here into turn 1. Very easy spot for where we have seen a few drivers have a bit of a spin. Turn 2, a quick right hand flick. Keeps it really nice and tight on that corner. Now turn 6, a little bit of a tricky area to really keep it consistent. Let's see how he does. Keeps it really nice and well on the track within the limits. An easy spot to invalidate, as some drivers tend to go a little bit wide right there. And as we watch him, Froggy Boggy putting in a 117.5. So really close to Hovind Rally's time. Sector 3 here, Nate Oxy has the DRS activation. And this corner, a very tricky corner. He does really well. We have seen quite a few drivers who tend to lock up a little bit on that. Nate Oxy looking really solid. We'll take a look at what he's able to put in. And so Nate Oxy crossing the line, puts in a 117.1, 4/10 away from Froggy Boggy. And the Red Bull Maestro putting himself up to the top 5 at the moment, 118.6. Great job by Maestro. We do have our second Williams driver. Ooh, looks like there is a little bit of traffic up ahead, but the driver's doing really well to get out of the way. Yeah, a lot of drivers on the chats. They're so happy about there not being any rain. I was kind of hoping for it, but I guess this will do. So Relativity going around the final corner has plenty of battery left to use on the straight. So Relativity is going to put in a 117.8. That puts him right behind his teammate. And R. Manson crossing the line right behind them. Puts himself right behind Relativity into P5. We do have our Argentinian friend Mini Tony as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Mini Tony participated in Division 1 on Monday, and I'm trying to take a quick look to see where he finished off. So let me just take a quick look. There we go. So Mini Tony finished P12 in the Division 1 group as a reserve. So we'll take a look. Oh, and as I say that, a little bit of a commentator's curse right there. Got a little bit camera shy to Mini Tony, but is still going to try finishing up the lap and still manages to put himself into the top 10, crossing the line with a 118.9. With that mistake, of course, plenty of opportunity to improve on that time, but we do also have Nate Oxy on the live chat, one of our drivers right now holding the provisional pole. We are looking forward to see if you are able to improve. I did see that you mentioned you are going to go out again. But we do have 3 more drivers who have yet to put in a time. More on one on the straight, crossing the line, puts in a 117.7, splitting the 2 Williams and putting himself right behind his teammate. So F1 Original Pauly D as well, putting in a time, puts a 118.7, splitting the Red Bull. So really loving the how close the teammates are, I will say. Looks like our only driver who has yet to put in a time is Escardo, who unfortunately had a very unfortunate race last week. A heck of a glitch. For those who did see, and if you didn't, then you're welcome to go watch it again. Um, yeah, very unfortunate for Escargo. So seriously hoping he has a really good race. He's always so unlucky on all our races. So yeah, let's see what is able to do, or what his internet is able to let him do. Or in majority of the cases, what EA will let him do, but so our provisional pole holder, Nate Oxy, about to start his lap time. Using a bit of battery before starting, and has a really nice launch right there. I did see that Hovind Rally as well was putting in a lap, so looks like he has improved by 600th on his time. So Nate Oxy with a purple first sector right there. And now up 4/10 on his time. So Nate Oxy looking to get into the 116s. I didn't see that Froggy Boggy mentioned that he is able to probably put a 116 as well in his sleep. However, unfortunately you're awake, so we shall see what you are able to put in. But Hovind Rally, a 117.0. However, Nate Oxy has improved and is about to cross the line. Puts in a 116.2. Really great time. And Nate Oxy, I guess, I don't know if that's a little bit of a lag or that's just him giving a little bit of a celebratory wiggle, but but there are only 5 minutes left in the qualifying session. I do wonder if Froggy Boggy is going to try heading out again. We do have the Red Bull of Guarding 2 is putting in a time. Ooh, a little bit of a struggle right there, and oh, right into the wall, and unfortunately, the McLaren doing really well to avoid that right there. Yeah, I guess he's making sure all the drivers are able to get past. That's the Alpine heading right through. Well, let's see. We do have Hafrenix, who I believe actually just put in a time, puts himself up to P6 with a 117.9. Our only driver who has yet to put in a time, that is Escargo in the Alpine. Not sure if he's struggling a little bit. I did see he did invalidate quite a few times there. And I also did notice that we have our media press team Kyle as well. Both Kovacs and Kyle in the live chat. So big hello to you guys as well. Here's hoping Division 2 gives you enough drama to cover for the interviews later, but so Escargo still keeping it within the track limits. Going around the final corners a little bit wide right there, goes onto the grass, and oh. So Escargo struggling quite a bit on this track. Has to be really careful right there with the drivers right behind them. He does have a clear track. Let's take a look at the drivers up in front. We do have quite a few drivers who are putting in a time at the moment. Hafrenix seems to be up on his time, actually. And has actually put in a purple second sector. So the Alpine of Hafrenix having much better luck than his teammate this week. Is going to cross the line, puts in a 117.1, puts himself up to the second row now. We do have both the Ferraris putting in a time as well. Moron one right in front of his teammate Froggy Boggy on the track. No, Moron one taking a little bit too much gravel right there. I do wonder if that has impacted his lap time, but he is going around the final corner. Has a little bit of battery left to use and is going to cross the line, puts in a 117.4. That pushes his teammate down, who, looking back at Froggy Boggy, has now gone onto the grass. So Froggy Boggy, mister, I could put in a 116, unfortunately has to settle with a 117.5. Let's see, we do have Nate Oxy looking to improve even further. Using the slipstream on the cars right there. And Nate Oxy actually up a 10th on his time, putting in a purple first sector there. And Nate Oxy finishing up sector 2 is up 300ths now. So we also do have Hoban Rally, who it doesn't look like he has improved yet, but we'll take a look if he's able to do anything here in sector 2. He's actually down on his time. Oh boy, the Haas of I think that is... No, that is Fat Angel, who unfortunately getting in the way of Nate Oxy there. And it actually does seem like Hoban Rally has backed out on that hot lap. Yeah, he is going back into the pit, so he's going to have to settle there. And Froggy Boggy retiring on track. Unfortunately, you cannot do that, sir, so we'll be addressing that later. It does seem like we have our Manson, who is up 7/10 according to the Delta, has put in a purple second sector. Alrighty, so our Manson put in a 117.1, phenomenal lap time from him to improve, and it does look like that is going to be our final starting grid. Alrighty, so that is our final grid, our starting grid for the race. We do have Nate Oxy starting on pole position. Right next to him is going to be Hoban Rally in the Williams. And in the rest, we do have our Manton, Hafrenix, DRS Maestro, Moron 1, Mini Tony, Froggy Boggy, Relativity, F1 Original Poly D, Guardians, Padron Pass, Infant Eater, Chernobyl Clocks, Escargo, F1 Vader, Leader Leadbag, Fuego Mall, and Fat Angel. That is going to be our starting grid. And I will give them a little reminder not to ready up. Alrighty, so yes, just a big reminder for all our drivers not to ready up. We do have, if you are watching for the first time, we do give the drivers a couple minutes to really prepare for the race, change any strategy calls, any fuel that they need to adjust. Um, just making sure we are able to read all the statistics for this race, just because our app has been a little bit glitchy, but here's hoping we are able to catch today's stats for the race. But like they mentioned, it is going to be a dry race. We did see quite a variety of strategy calls. We did have such a mix of mediums to hards, hards to mediums from all the other races. And let's see any mentions on the chat. And yes, I do agree with Froggy Boggy on the Discord chat. Please, if you're a driver listening on the chat, you can't win the race on turn one. Please be super cautious and don't think three wide into the first corner is going to be wise. I don't want to see any Pikachu face of surprise just because there's contact. So please take that into consideration. All right, but they do have the ready up to start the timer. So they will be starting soon. And so, as we mentioned before, formation lap is going to be off. So they will be diving straight into the race. And so we have Nate Oxy starting on pole position. Is he going to be able to defend against Hoven Rally? Let's take a quick look at the strategy call. So it does look like Hoven Rally might be starting on the mediums, the faster tire. Let's get all this up. So lights are off and away they go. And ooh, our Manton a little bit wiggly on that start. And so DRS Maestro having a really good advantage right there. Looks like he is going to get the position a little bit of side by side right there, but a little bit of changing happening in the back as well. Guardians gaining quite a few positions. Looks like we do still have our Manson trying to defend against DRS Maestro. Ooh, a little bit, not exactly sure if there was contact, but DRS Maestro a little bit onto the gravel right there. Is under pressure by Mini Tony, who has gotten past, and now under pressure by Relativity. It looks like we do have a couple of movements happening in the back as well. F1 Original Poly D getting past the Red Bull of Guardians. So looking like a really good start from a few drivers. I think a little bit of might have been a little bit of bumping, not exactly sure, but still very sensible driving. And as I say that, Relativity from the background going onto the grass. And so Relativity dropping down, unfortunately, to P14 now, and up ahead, I think Froggy Boggy was still right behind Hafernix. And it does look like Froggy Boggy might be looking to make the move. Nope. And Infant Eater picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Froggy Boggy making the move on Hafernix. And getting really close to the rear right there of our Manson. Doing really well to avoid him though. But that is going to move a few drivers up the position. Hafernix and Mini Tony up ahead. And so we are on the second lap, and outside that does mean that DRS is going to be enabled. And looks like that is Chernobyl, who has unfortunately DNF'd, has retired on the track. That might be a virtual safety car. I don't see any yellow dot appearing on the track. So yeah, it does look like that is going to be a virtual. And I did see Kovacs, you were asking if there's no formation lap. Yep, so the divisions, they do run with no formation lap. That is just because obviously the races are late at night, 9 o'clock. And there does tend to be sometimes a few glitches with the formation lap, so we do want to avoid any lobby restarts so late at night. But looks like they are still under the virtual safety car. No green flags as of yet. I did see quite a few drivers. Actually, no, it looks like only Infi Eater who has picked up a drive-through penalty now. Drivers still staying right behind each other. And oh, so green flags and Froggy Boggy having a really good start right there. Going past both Mini Tony and DRS Maestro. Looks like he is trying to look up for the inside attack on Hafrenix. Does well to really choose not to go for it there. I think he did unsettle Hafrenix, gave him a little bit of an intimidation tactic there. But getting the pass done now, does have the DRS enabled, is going to be closing in a bit on Armanson, who it does seem like he has picked up a drive-through penalty as well. So that is going to hurt Armanson. And Fuegomal picking up a 3-second penalty now. So it looks like we do have quite a small, actually not really a small, pretty decent DRS train here from P3 all the way down to P9. Neoxy crossing the line, puts a fastest lap. Froggy Boggy fastest lap, 121.3 now. And so we do have Froggy Boggy looking to make the move, does make the move on Armanson there. And is Hafrenix going to be looking to make the move there on Armanson? No, he chooses to stay right behind. So we will be taking a look at the position changes. However, I do want to take another quick look at the penalty. So Armanson, the drive-through, Mini Tony, and Fuegomal with 3 seconds. Infant Eater with 20 seconds of penalties. And now joining the party, Escargo as well with 3 seconds of penalties. Looks like we do have a bit of changing happening in the back as well. Padron Paz getting past Guardians, who does have leader Leebag right behind him, and up ahead Hafrenix. Ooh, looking a little bit wiggly right there on the exit, but still remaining on the top, within the top drivers there. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities here on this track. I absolutely love it. Oh, Hafrenix. Amazing catch by Hafrenix right there. And DRS Maestro looks like he is going to be taking advantage of that mistake. Getting past Hafrenix, although Hafrenix defending goes on to the gravel. Unfortunately, DRS right behind them. Jeez. And I'm pretty sure DRS has picked up wing damage right there. That is the Red Bull of Guardians. Looking like he has missed his breaking point. Unfortunately, going straight into, I think that was more on one. So very unfortunate for DRS Maestro having that car spin out. So of course, ghosting is disabled on this track. And yeah, unfortunately, they just can't ghost right past them. But that is going to give leader Leebag the opportunity to climb up the grid, moves up to P6. Actually having a look at the position changes, leader Leebag up 11 positions there. So doing a really amazing job right there, leader Leebag, to climb the grid. So DRS Maestro is going to be really slow here. Padron Paz does have to be extremely careful trailing right behind DRS Maestro. And it looks like DRS Maestro is going to be going into the pits. I will say head down because it is Australia. You never know if the safety car is going to come out. And looks like we do have a lot more penalties coming out. So more on one picking up a 3-second penalty now. And so Nate Oxy with a comfortable gap of 3.2 seconds ahead of the pack. I think all that action, all that battling, really helping him out to extend that gap. But it does seem like our Manson has served the drive-through penalty, is closing in on the back of Fuego Mall. Yep, is able to get the pass done nice and easily. That is Hafrenix, unfortunately, going into the pits and retiring. Not exactly sure if he got caught up in the issue with DRS Maestro and... Actually, no, I think that was Hafrenix who had the spin. But here, having a little bit of a battle, Fuego Mall and R. Manson. And that does seem like yellow flags. Not exactly sure which driver that is. Oh, looks like that is the retired AI car of Hafrenix leaving the pits. So unfortunately, EA being EA. And so looking like Nate Oxy with a better strategy call for the front row. Starting on the hard compounds, Hoven Rally with the 6-lap-old mediums. Unfortunately, not going to be able to really catch up to Nate Oxy. But it does look like Froggy Boggy now, less than a second behind of Hoven. And so is Froggy Boggy going to be looking to make the attack here with the help of DRS? Looks like no, he is going to be staying right behind, and I believe we do have Relativity now closing in on the back of leader Leebag for the battle for P6 at the moment. And it does look like Hoven Rally has been able to reduce that gap on Nate Oxy, however, still 2.3 seconds behind. But it does seem like Froggy Boggy closing in on the back of Hoven Rally there. Does have the double DRS, but unfortunately not close enough to really make a move. Relativity getting past leader Leebag. Moving himself up to P6 now. So I will say, phenomenal driving from these guys, honestly. I think the no assist division is really a group of talented drivers. And so Froggy Boggy closing in on the back of Hoven Rally, picking up a 3-second penalty now. Is able to make the pass done on Hoven Rally. Is the Williams going to try defending that position? No, he's going to stop right behind of the Ferrari. It does look like we have a nice little battle between Leader Leebag and Relativity. Leader Leebag getting the position back. However, Relativity is going to get the DRS on this next upcoming straight. And Infant Eater picking up another 3 seconds. And it does look like Relativity has brought Padron Pass right behind him. Relativity does have the DRS. However, does wise not to make a move there. Does have the double DRS. And looks like he is going to be making the move on the inside. Is able to get up the position, take the position from Leader Leebag. Padron Pass right behind. Still eyeing to make a move. But oh, a bit of a lockup right there by Leader Leebag. So it does seem like this is going to be our main battle at the moment. Relativity, Liebag, and Padron Paz. Does seem like Joven Rally has dropped back from Froggy Baggy, who had the overtake and has extended the gap to 1.6 seconds. Escargo now picking up a 3-second penalty now. So leader Liebag with the DRS. Is he going to try and make a move on the inside? He tried going on the inside, but not enough space to really make the move. Three drivers doing really well to keep it consistent, keep it close too. And in the back, it does seem like we have the Red Bull of DRS Maestro closing in on the back of Fuego Mall. He is on the fresher tires, but leader Liebag able to make the move now, and Padron Paz still not close enough to do anything. And it does seem like we do have a driver who has pit as Moron 1 opting to the mediums, and as that happened, Maestro as well getting past the Aston Martin of Fuego Mall. So has 18 laps, including this one, still to go. Padron Paz looking for the move on Relativity. Although it does seem like Relativity making the attack on leader Liebag. Oh, going a little bit too much on the curve right there. And it does seem like that is yellow flags. However, I believe that has gone away. Fuego Mall picking up a 3-second penalty. I think right behind Padron Paz closing in on Relativity. Not yet able to make a move. And it does look like Froggy Baggy has opted to pit now onto the hard compounds. We'll see where he is able to head out, but we do have Padron Paz and leader Liebag choosing to pit as well. Oh no, not exactly sure what happened between Froggy Baggy and Relativity. Maybe the tires are too cold. However, Relativity dropping down positions, and we do have... Oh, I think that was Mini Tony taking a little bit too much of a kiss to the wall, and unfortunately losing his left end plate now. And that is going to hurt, especially in Sector 2, I will say, or actually no, Sector 3. Yep, definitely missing his left end plate right there, and coming out of the pits, it does seem like leader Liebag has come out right behind of DRS Maestro. Maestro was 6-lap old hard compounds, leader Liebag the fresh mediums. Does seem like this is going to be our closest battle for now. But leader Liebag really chewing up on that time and going a little bit wide right there, but still keeping it within the DRS of, ironically, DRS. And so Mini Tony has pit now. He is going to be losing a little bit more time if he does get that wing change. However, he is going to retire from the session now. Let's see, we do have leader Liebag closing in on DRS Maestro. Not close enough for the attack, however. Ooh, DRS Maestro a little bit slow right there, but leader Liebag a really good exit, and on the fresher tires, the better grip is going to get the overtake done on Maestro. And oh, that leader Liebag onto the gravel, unfortunately losing 2 positions. Padron Paz getting past as well. And I think that is another driver, the other Racing Bull, also onto the gravel. So both Racing Bulls having a little bit of a struggle there. Let's see, we do have Moron 1 in the Ferrari going around on the outside on Fuego Mall. gets the overtake done and does have the DRS to remain ahead. A little bit of a wiggle right there from more on one. So F1 Original Poly D now pitting has gone onto the medium tires, and we'll take a quick look to see how much the position changes have gone. Ooh, Fuegomal struggling a little bit right there on the exit to get that traction. So it looks like we do have no closing gap as of yet, but looking at the position changes, we do have leader lead bag still with the most position gains. Is up 8 positions now. Guardians up 7 positions. Fuegomal up 7 positions as well. And Froggy Boggy up 5. Paulie up 4. And honestly, really great job from a lot of these drivers to really climb up the grid. We do have a few who have still yet to pit. That is ooh, seems like that is yellow flags. I believe that a Fuegomal right there, but looks like it has cleared. And oh, that is what happened to Mini Tony. His wheel disconnected. So very unfortunate for Mini Tony. Unfortunately, I have noticed that those things happen. If the AI did reset, then you know, obviously we could look into that and we could handle that as well. But hopefully next week you do have a stronger race in Silverstone. And oh, Relativity getting the move down on Fuegomal, who does seem to be missing his right end plate now. And up ahead, we do have Guardians on the back of Hoven Rally, or Manson on the back of Guardians. And Mini Tony, if it accidents happen, don't worry. Head down, head down. DRS Smasher has made a few mistakes as well in the past, so you don't have to feel guilty for making a mistake on another driver. So, but let's see. Keeping an eye on our Manson and Guardian, still out on the hard compounds. Nate Oxy as well, still out on the 15-lap-old hards. They should be pitting in a few laps, so it will be interesting to see where they come out on the grid. We have noticed on this track that where it does pick up a lot on the traffic. And it does actually seem like another driver who was having an issue with his wheel. Actually, no, Chernobyl Clock's actually clarifying that he actually missed his braking point on the on one of his mistakes. But yeah, but going back onto the track, it does seem like our Manson, looking to make the move on the outside of Guardians, is able to get it done. Does have the second DRS to really pull himself away from Guardians. However, they both are on equal tire strategies. And oh, Guardians a little bit losing the car a little bit right there on the exit, and so that is going to help our Manson gain a little bit of time, pushing him out of the DRS possibly. And up ahead we do have Nate Oxy, who has opted for the medium tires, has come out of the pits. And so Froggy Boggy now currently leading the race with the 5-lap-old hard tires. Does have a 3-second penalty though. And let's see, we do have a couple more drivers losing positions. However, that seems to be because they are coming out of the pits. That is our Manson and Guardians. I did doing exactly what I said about them having to pit soon. But leader lead bag now onto the grass. Has a little bit of traffic coming around. Does really well to really rejoin the track safely. Is losing time and has actually lost his right end plate. So I'm not sure if that was from that incident or if that was from earlier. However, looking up ahead, we do have the battle for P5 between Maestro and Padron Paz. Padron Paz does have the battery, does have the DRS as well. Is going to be looking to make a move on the outside. And phenomenal overtake from Padron Paz to move himself up to P5. And 7 seconds. Oh, and off he goes, Maestro. My goodness, all that from the background. Does well to really stay or get back onto the track. Hasn't lost a lot of time from Moron 1 right behind him. And he does have those 2 drivers behind him with the 3-second penalties, so does have a chance to finish in honestly the top 10, so still good. I know he wants to win, but it does look like we do have leader Lee Bank who has gone into the pits. I do wonder if he is going to get that wing change. Up ahead, Froggy Boggy having lost time and Nate Oxy getting the overtake done. So Froggy Boggy does have that 3-second penalty, so Nate Oxy in a comfortable position there. Ooh, Froggy Boggy going a little bit too wide, taking a bit of the curve there. Does seem to be struggling a little bit, however, still keeping it well to stay in the podium run. And in the back, it seems like we do have a little bit of a battle between Guardians and Relativity. Relativity with the 5-lap old hards, Guardians with the fresher tires and the faster tire, is going to have the DRS on this next upcoming straight. Although it doesn't look like he's going to be closing in on Relativity. However, we also do have leader Leebag in the back as well, right behind Escargo. Froggy Boggy now picking up another 3 seconds, so that is 6 seconds in total for the Ferrari. So 10 laps remaining, including this one, and it does seem like that is the Ferrari of Froggy Boggy with the yellow flags now losing a significant amount of time. 5.6 seconds now away from Nate Oxy. And Nate Oxy also picking up the fastest lap of 119.7. Right behind it does seem like we have Escargo and leader Leebag still battling it out. Escargo having the upper hand, gets the overtake done. However, leader Leebag is going to have the DRS on this next upcoming straight. Both of them on equal tires. Ooh, Maestro now picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So very unfortunate for Maestro, not really having his best race. We do still have leader Leebag chasing down Escargo. But looking at the penalties, we do have quite a few drivers who are in the penalty jail. That is Froggy Boggy and Fuegoma with 6 seconds. Armanton, Moron 1, Vader, and Fat Angel with 3 seconds. Maestro with the 10 seconds. Escargo with 9 seconds. Fuegoma 6. Infant Eater with 13 seconds. So, yeah, I guess they have a little bit of a challenge within themselves on who could pick up the most, but leader Leebag still fighting it with Escargo. Both of them doing really well to give each other the room and keeping it into close fighting. Looks like Escargo having the upper hand here. So Leader Leadback does have the hard compounds, Escargo with the mediums. So those mediums, if they keep on battling, are going to be wearing out sooner than later. And Escargo actually dropping back a little bit from Leader Leadbag. We do have the two Red Bulls, Guardians and DRS Maestro switching it around. Guardians does have Moron 1 right behind him. It looks like Moron 1 actually looking to make a move on the inside. Is able to get the move done. I do wonder if Guardians has any damage. Yes, he does. I was wondering why he was a little bit more slower than usual. Guardian's actually missing his left end plate, so unfortunately going to be dropping back from those drivers up ahead of him. But let's see, we still do have Escargo and Leader Leadbag still battling it out. And Escargo going a little bit wide right there. Still, oh man, taking a little bit too much of the wall, and Escargo now in the middle of the track. I will say that was a nice little bounce back, and how did he not pick up any damage? That is amazing. That is a heck of a 360 spin right back onto the track, facing the right way. But Escargo now losing, having lost significant amount of time, 7.5 seconds behind of Leader Leadbag. And looks like our closest battle right now is Moron 1 right behind of DRS Maestro. Maestro actually right behind Relativity. Looks like up ahead, Nate Oxy leading with a 10, almost 11 second gap. Froggy Boggy having lost a lot of time with those mistakes. Unfortunately, does also have that 6 seconds of penalty. So Hoven Rally looking for a possible P2 position. And it actually does seem like Froggy Boggy is losing, has lost a lot more time now. 17 seconds behind on Nate Oxy. I do wonder what happened. You see yellow flags in Sector 1, however, I don't think that is anything to do with them. DRS Maestro closing in on the back of Relativity. Is on the fresher tires, 3-lap-old mediums against Relativity's 10-lap-old hards. Maestro has the DRS enabled, is going to be able to get the move done on Relativity. And so yeah, Froggy Boggy, having lost a significant amount of time, has dropped down to 21 seconds now behind of Nate Oxy. So he's definitely struggling with those tires, or has damage. We'll take a look actually to see what he has. Yes, he does has a missing right end plate. Does have Hoven Rally right behind him, and unfortunately Hoven Rally is going to have to be super cautious right behind the Ferrari. And so is Hoven Rally going to be looking to make the move on the Ferrari? Looks like not close enough to do anything, although very unwise decision. think he wasn't expecting to be so close to the back of Froggy Boggy there. However, still doing well to keep it close. Is going to be making the move done, and onto the gravel. Hoven Rally goes. So Froggy Boggy is still holding on to that P2 position. However, as we mentioned before, he does have that 6 seconds of penalties. Hoven Rally still with a possible podium finish up in P3. But we do have his teammate Relativity closing in on the back of Moron 1. Both Williams with a battle with a Ferrari. And Froggy Boggy now pick up another 3 seconds. So that is 9 seconds in total for Froggy Boggy. That is most likely going to secure a podium finish for Pauly D now. We do have Hoven Rally closing in on the back of Froggy Boggy. Does have plenty of battery to use and is going to have the DRS enabled. Froggy Boggy would definitely with the straight line speed with the help of that missing end play, I will say. But unfortunately not enough to really defend the position. Hoven Rally moving up to P2 now. And Pauly D actually closing in 1.1 seconds behind of Froggy Boggy. So Pauly D as well going to have to be careful with Froggy Boggy if he is going to try to defend that position. Oh, Froggy Boggy struggling a little bit there, very close to the wall. Looks like Pauly also has his teammate Padron Pass right behind him as well, but and Fuego Mal actually retiring in the pits. For a second, I thought that was Froggy for a second. I was confusing my two Fs. But Pauly still holding on the back of Froggy. He has the battery, has the DRS enabled, is going to be able to make the move. So Froggy Boggy now losing 2 positions within 2 laps there, and I believe he goes wide. And in the middle of the track, Padron Paz able to get past. Is going to have to be careful with the drivers right behind. That is the lap car of Fat Angel getting right around safely. But Froggy really struggling there and having a really unfortunate race. And unfortunately with those mistakes, Nate Oxy with a comfortable lead, 30 seconds now ahead of Hoven Rally. Hoven Rally, who's actually stuck having a few battles as well, but yeah, it looks like Froggy with the Voldemort look, unfortunately, going to have to go back into the pits. Is going to be letting a few of the drivers pass by, which we do appreciate as well. And even for a bad race, we do appreciate him still participating. So hopefully he has a better a better race next time. But it does seem like we're going to be having a bit of a battle between the 2 Kick Sours, the 2 teammates now. So Padron Paz less than a second behind of Pauly, only 2 laps remaining, including this one. DRS Maestro. Not exactly sure what happened there. See, his car has disappeared, so not exactly sure if he may have had a little bit of a spin there, but we are going back to Padron Paz. Do have yellow flags, however, that is going to be going away soon. Padron Paz still within the DRS of Pauly. We'll take a look at their tires. So actually it looks like Nate Oxy up ahead has chosen to pit, is going to be going for the soft tires. Most likely trying to secure that fastest lap, but we do have Padron Paz with the 16 lap old hard compounds, Paulie with the 14 lap old mediums. And oh, that is Vader, I believe, in the Racing Bull. I don't think Paulie picked up any damage. No, it doesn't look like it. So they are doing really well to really keep that car intact. But Padron dropping back a little bit on Paulie. And it does seem like Moron 1 closing in on the back of Relativity now. So Moron 1 still looking to make a move on Relativity. I think he was trying to choose where to go. Does get the move done. So Moron 1 with an overtake to move up to P6. He does have that 3-second penalty, so that is going to still drop him down a position if he's not able to appeal that penalty. So we are on the final lap, and is Padron Paz going to be able to make the move on his teammate? I have a feeling this is going to be a really close finish. Neoxy most likely securing the win with a 17 gap lead. Open Rally as well securing possibly a P2 as long as these two drivers are able to keep it consistent until the finish line. Padron Paz has saved up plenty of battery compared to Paulie D there. Paulie D trying to drain all of it. Padron Paz as well. Padron Paz closing in, and is he going to look to make the move on the inside? And a phenomenal overtake by Padron Paz, able to make it stick. And so Nate Oxy crosses the line, also picks up the fastest lap as well. And it actually seems like Relativity still within the 3-second gap of Moron 1. They're still taking a look at these two just in case anything happens, but it looks like Padron Paz has secured the podium finish. And so Relativity crossing the line is going to be taking that P6 from Moron 1. I believe no changes happening on the back. You want to look at the position changes. Padron Paz actually I don't remember where he started, but gaining 9 positions there. Paulie D as well gaining 6 positions. Leader Leadbag gaining 8 positions. So those are our 3 top positions. Leader Leadbag having a little bit of fun here. Just make sure you don't DNF the car. Let's make sure they Leader Leadbag doing a bit of the donuts. Oh yeah, we do enjoy Leader Leadbag having a little bit of fun there, but always happy to see him on the track and enjoying his races. And although I did see a bit of trouble on certain laps, but still doing well to finish top 10. So big congratulations to him. Just waiting for this to load up. If it even lets me. Typical EA, I guess. There we go. There we go. So, this is going to be our final grid for round 6, halfway into the group, into the season actually. So I take that back. But Neoxy with the winner, also getting a 118.9 fastest lap with those soft tires. Following right behind, sharing the podium, is Hoven Rally in P2 and Padron Paz in P3. Those are our 3 podium runners. From P4 all the way to the end, we have Paulie D. Armanton, Relativity, Moron 1, Guardians, Leader Leadbag, Escargo, Vader, Infant Eater, and DRS Management. And unfortunately, our DNS, Froggy Boggy, Fat Angel. Although, actually, Fat Angel, I think that was because he left the session. So technically, he did finish. Fuego Malt, Mini Tony, Halfernix, and Chernobyl, unfortunately, not able to finish the race. But we will be in Silverstone next week, so we are looking forward to seeing that. I know that is a classic favorite for a majority of these drivers, so they will be looking forward to that race. And I know quite a few of them are probably hoping for no rain, although we do know how the British weather might turn out. But anyways, phenomenal job for all these drivers, all the ones who were able to participate. Our drivers who were able to reserve today, I think that was only 3 of our drivers, so we do appreciate you showing up. Anyways, we will be seeing you guys next week. We do have our Tier 1 Limited Assist group running on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. That is 8:30, if I'm not mistaken, for our European drivers. But anyways, big congratulations. We will catch you guys next week. That race on Saturday will be hosted possibly by our other commentator. This is J-Dog, our Australian friend. So yeah, we'll catch you guys later and have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are watching from, and we'll catch you guys next time.